Today was probably the best experience I've had next to being born and baptized. I went to the Boise Temple and was baptized for the dead and confirmed. It was wonderful, and the temple was beautiful, and after that we went to the cafeteria to eat. My name is Andrea Belita. I grew up in a bunkhouse we made in Idaho. No electricity, no separated rooms, no privacy. We were preppers, hoarder style. An herbalist mother and a religiously extreme and dominating father. Abuse was prevalent. Songwriting and journaling are how I got through life. I bet you've been through some pretty gnarly stuff as well. Let's get reading. All right. I might be sharing some little tidbits from my life as the starter to my episodes because I'm like, hey, I got this whole thing going on right now. It'd be kind of cool to also have current me and old me and then commentary me. That's a lot of me's. So this morning I was up at 2:45. Oh, geez. If you have, I really need to be consistent in taking my magnesium to see if that will actually help me sleep through the night. But it's not every night, and I need to, anyway, trying to figure that out. I am 41. I have 3 kids. I'm married to a wonderful man, and I've basically been reading books about relationships since I left home when I was 18. And the one that I'm reading right now is Simplicity Parenting, recommended by a friend of mine. And I'm really liking it. I won't tell you all of the things that I'm learning from it because I feel like you'll get different things from it if you read it. But I think that everyone should read this as a parent. Okay, moving on to the journal reading. This is November 12th, 1995. And this is the rest of that last journal entry. Unfortunately, I started my period at the beginning of September. It was horrible, but it was kind of nice because I didn't want to start at school. That was me looking for the silver lining. My friend Amy moved to Boise for a year. It's horrible because I don't really have anyone to walk and talk with, but there is a really cute boy at school and his name is Joe. When we went to parent-teacher conferences, I moved myself over by him because I wanted to, as long as I didn't talk. At the beginning of September, when school began, we had like a pre-dance before we had a dance after school to learn some dance moves. Well, I got to dance with a really cute boy. His name is Miguel. He's Mexican like Joe. Rebecca, our cat, had a 5 litter of kittens. I love how it's just like next train of thought. This cat. Rebecca, our cat, I don't remember Rebecca at all, by the way. No recollection whatsoever. I had a 5 litter of kittens, and I got a gray one. It's so cute. I already have a cat, and her name is Anya, which means Amy in Polish. She's a calico. I just barely turned 12 in October, so I just got into Young Women's. Young Women's is the church organization for young women. The animals we have right now are chickens, roosters, 5 turkeys, ducks, geese, 2 dogs, cats, cows, goats, and fish. We just got a new dog. It's a Springer Spaniel, and his name is Boomer. I remember Boomer. Boomer was very energetic and very fun. So now we have 2 dogs, Susie, which is a chocolate lab, and Boomer, a Springer. My oldest sister just had a baby girl. For our family reunion, we went to Rigby Lake, August 5th, 1995, and it was fun. We went swimming there. I just learned how to do a back walkover. Shauna, my best friend, taught me how. Miguel, the boy I was talking about, moved. I've heard that he's coming back in the spring, and I hope he is too. I'm getting the yearbook for this year, 1995 to 1996. Yesterday for Mutual, which is it's the Wednesday night activity for the young men and young women, we served the singles, and it was fun. Today at school, I got all my work done, and so I didn't have any homework. In art, we're doing bubble letters and block letters. It's fun. Too bad Joe is in my cycle class. I don't really like elementary school because you're with all these children and you feel like a child. Today I was in sort of a little argument, and I wasn't too good. I don't want to discuss it though. I wonder what that was. In science, I sit by Joe, and in language arts, I sit by him. So that's good. I started my period at the beginning of September. I was glad because I didn't want to start at school. Sorry if I repeated it. It's so cute. Okay, November 19th, 1995. So this is just sixth grade. I remember in sixth grade, I loved my teacher, Mrs. Blick. I loved, I think, did I have my art teacher? I don't know if she was my art teacher. Yeah, I think maybe. Anyway, today I had to give a talk in sacrament meeting about Joseph Smith and the Restoration. So after the sacrament was done, I gave my talk. It wasn't so bad because I wasn't very nervous. After church, we went to Grandma's house and I invited Shauna over. That was like the highlight of my week. All right. So November 21st, 1995. Today, we, half of the sixth grade, went to the HNFH, the Hagerman National Fish Hatchery. The people in my group were Joe, me, Amanda, Lori, Steven, Ricky. We were collecting bugs. We had so much fun. Joe and I talked a lot and laughed a lot and walked together a lot. His real name is Joseph, but I guess he likes Joe, the name. Today, we almost had to look for leeches. Our group. Then we tested water, and then we went into the conference room and looked up insects and had to write a paragraph. I do remember going to that fish hatchery, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I remember that specific outing, field trip. And I think my friend Megan's mom came on that one, and I loved her mom. So there were some people in my life that helped kind of shape different parts about me. And those are two people that also did. Okay, so today at school we have a half of day. Tomorrow we're going to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving. Okay, so today at school we have a half of day. Okay, that's probably because it's Thanksgiving break. Okay. All the half days, it just reminded me about all the half days and all the early out days and all the other things that my kids have here in California. And it's like, all right, this is too much. A half day here and there for right before a break. I get it. That's fine. That's actually fun. But, yeah, that's like a whole thing I can go on ranting about. It's just like, can we please just have full days of school like every day? Maybe once a week we have an early out, but all right. So for the moms who start school, I feel like I need or for the moms whose kids go to school, I feel like I need a personal assistant just to keep track of when my kids get out of school. That's how crazy it is. All right. Yesterday at the fish hatchery, someone in the girls' bathroom. Oh, hang on. I skipped ahead on accident. Tomorrow we're going to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving, and we're going to see all or most of our cousins. I think and hope Joe likes me. He stares at me a lot, and I stare at him a lot, so that probably means we like each other. Yesterday at the fish hatchery, someone in the girls' bathroom flushed a sandwich down the toilet and got clogged up, and the water overflowed. And the water went all the way down to the road. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine why on earth would a sixth grader do that? You've got to be kidding me. I mean, I don't know. But, yeah. All right. This summer we got new bikes, and I got a purple mountain bike, and it's cool. Oh my gosh, I remember this. Okay, so my mom was working. And I think she was working at a fish hatchery at the time, because where we lived was like, Buell was known to be like a trout capital of the world. And so she was earning more money. And so she decided to buy us all brand new bikes. And I was so excited. She got me this purple Huffy, and I loved it. And we rode all over the place, me and my brother. So I would have been 12. And this is actually good because when I do have memories of us just riding all over the canyon and all over the place. And looking back now, I'm like, wow, we had just total freedom. Me and my two brothers, we would just ride all the time. Maybe not all the time. I don't know how often we rode, but we had such a good time, just freedom riding on our own. And looking back, I'm actually quite impressed because there were lots and lots of hills and we were going up lots and lots of hills in order to go down and have fun going down hills. So that's I'm grateful my mom got us new bikes. May 18th, 1995. I kind of skipped back a few days, but that's okay. Today was kind of a horrible day for me. It sounds like I used the word horrible a lot. I don't know. I feel like maybe my older sister used it, and I remember her using that word, so I wonder if I just picked it up from her or someone else. I don't know. Today was kind of a horrible day for me. I'll tell you the story. I was running home from the bus stop because I really had to go to the bathroom. The pathway, shortcut I was running down, and I didn't see the pickup or hear it. And I looked over, and I thought the pickup was a dream, and it hit me, and I flew and hit the side of the road. I was laying there knocked out cold with my eyes shut for about 10 seconds. Then I opened my eyes and saw my arms in front of me and my backpack on my arms, and my legs were just laying there too. I wasn't crying at first. Then my brother ran over and my sister and my other brother, and they picked me up, and I was just kind of standing there. I was in a lot of shock. I didn't even hurt. Then I started to cry, and my shoulder and knee started hurting. The next week was play day, and I didn't know what to do because I was going to be in the distance run. I think play day was field day. Yeah. And I didn't know what I was going to do because I was going to be in the distance run. For a long time, my shoulder was swollen and it hurt really bad, and my knee was scraped up. And that's pretty much the end of the story. We didn't go to the hospital or anything. I remember that was just, my mom usually used herbs and other things to kind of heal what ailed us. And that was just really because my parents didn't believe in doctors and hospitals. They'd had enough experiences that they really just wanted to, do things at home. And they didn't have insurance. So it was always a lot of money to go to the doctor. And honestly, my mom could fix anything. Kind of moving into the idea of, herbalism and that kind of world that my mom was into. I was used to that. When I was little and I was sick, my mom would give me herbal teas that she made. And I remember going to an herbal store with her where she would pick up different herbs that she wanted or needed. And she had all these books as reference guides for what certain herbs were good for. And she really just believed that the earth and what the earth provided in its natural form could heal us. And my view of that would kind of change and morph over time. And my mom really had a healing spirit to her, if you would, she just loved to nurture, and she loved to just try to figure out how to help you feel better. And she was good at it. I saw her patch up some pretty gnarly stuff in my lifetime. So I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but I was born at home, and so was my brother. So my older siblings had these experiences. Like, one of my older siblings almost got switched to birth. And after that, my parents decided to have us at home. And I think that was really where my mom started diving into herbalism. And then that's really what she used her whole life. And much later in life, she completely changed my view on it unexpectedly. So I'll definitely tell that story at some point. Saturday, November 25th, 1995. Today was probably the best experience I've had next to being born and baptized. I went to the Boise Temple and was baptized for the dead and confirmed. It was wonderful, and the temple was beautiful, and after that we went to the cafeteria to eat, and they have great food. Then I went to Amy's house with her and her mom in their apartment in Boise. Then we went to Amy's house in Buell. Her mom was going to college at the time. Then we went over to Amy's grandma's house and ate dinner with her brothers and her dad. I can't wait to go back to school. We had a 4-day weekend, and it seems like a whole week. It was boring except for Thanksgiving and today. Okay, so baptisms for the dead is basically where you believe, the Mormon Church believes that if you die and you weren't baptized into the church, that you would then have the opportunity to be baptized and to accept or reject baptism into the church as like while you're in the spirit world. And so members of the church go to the temple to do this work for people who've already passed on, to see, and basically we don't know if they've accepted or rejected it, but that's kind of just like, that's the work that is being done for people that have already passed on. Like, do they want to become members or not? That's up to them. But the temple is a really peaceful place. So it was an enjoyable experience. It was something that I'd been looking forward to for a long time, because you can't do it until you're 12. And then you basically can do it from 12 years on, and you go with the young men or the young women in your ward, and the young men and young women, and it's like a 2-hour drive. So you ride on a bus together, and it's this kind of like field trip, if you will, for church. And you get to go out to eat, and you're just spending time doing something that feels like purposeful. And I really enjoyed it. December 9th, 1995. Today I babysat Alan and Andy. At first, Andy was really cranky and snotty, but Alan was also being pretty selfish. Oh my gosh, I loved these kids. I'm actually surprised I have this in my journal, because I loved babysitting them. They lived not far from us. Then, later in the night, Andy and Alan were getting better at being kinder to each other. They wanted chicken noodle soup, but I didn't know how to work the stove. Yeah, actually, that's something that, because I was in this, world where I didn't have electricity. At this point, we are living in our bunkhouse. I'm pretty sure, because we only lived in that camper for like that 10-foot camper for probably only like 6 months to a year. And I don't know exactly, because I didn't record it. But then, that whole year we were making the bunkhouse. And I remember one of my jobs was to debark the logs. And so I would take this debarker tool, and I would take the bark off the logs, and I hated it. But I enjoyed being out there with the brothers and my dad, and and then they would lift it up, and I have pictures of the bunkhouse. I mean, it's definitely like a makeshift looking place. It's not your sort of standard nice, everything is super nice and neat looking thing, but we were proud of it, and especially proud of that back wall that ended up getting covered up by boxes, because remember, it was hoarder style as well. So we didn't just have this house, we also had the house and tons of stuff, like so much stuff. I will give you a visual. So outside, we built a lean-to over the side of it, and then just filled it with boxes to like protect the boxes. But we had so much stuff everywhere. I don't know why we didn't just take it to the dump. If stuff is going to stay in boxes forever, just take it to the dump. I think that's one thing that America really struggles with, is just the amount of stuff. People's garages are full of stuff. People get a 3,000 square foot house, and then they buy a storage unit. My husband and I laugh all the time when new developments go up and you see storage units then like plopped in the same area. It's like, really? Those are 4,000 square foot homes. Do we really need storage units too? But Americans just really struggle with that. And our family in particular, oh my goodness, I could go on about this. It's a tragedy, really, because it just detracts from the beauty of just the land and the beauty of the home. I wouldn't have been nearly as embarrassed of my home if we didn't have so much stuff. Because I actually, you can be really proud of something you make, even if it doesn't look like everyone else's house or every other log house. You can be really proud of it. It was the mess that I was embarrassed about. And I would live with that embarrassment my entire growing up years, because I didn't like the mess. I couldn't stand it. It was so hard for me. So going back to the story about babysitting, I didn't know how to work the stove, because I was used to using a gas stove, because we had propane stove, and we would, have to refill the propane tank because we had the small propane tanks. And I didn't have flip lights. Like we did use, I lived at my grandma's house, but I never learned how to use her electric stove. And you would think it would be just, pretty simple. Like you could translate, how to use an electric stove versus how to use a regular stove. But I just was never kind of taught how to critically think that way. In fact, I don't even think I learned how to critically think until my late 20s. I know that sounds crazy, but I remember the moment when I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I understand how to critically think, because I was so good at doing what I was told, because I was getting told to do stuff all the time, that I really didn't know how to think for myself. I didn't know how to really break things down and translate them into different subjects, learnings, and apply them in different ways. So here I am trying to make soup, but can't work the stove. And by the way, our house, we didn't have a refrigerator. We had a box. We had a spring that came out of the mountain, which we would fill our jugs up with water because it was this beautifully clean water. We would fill jugs up with water, and that's what we drank. And we'd fill up 20 jugs of water, and then we'd drink it that week and use it for our home and other things. And it was just above our home. So it was, a 3-minute walk up the hill, and with a pipe coming out of the hill. I mean, it really was a unique and exceptional thing that we had there. And then that stream would basically trickle into a little brook. And that brook is where it was super cold water. And we just had a big metal box, and that's where we kept things like butter. We never bought meat and maybe that's honestly, maybe that's why we just didn't eat much meat, is because we couldn't refrigerate it. We couldn't keep it safe. And so we really went to a mostly vegetarian diet, except for fish. We did eat a lot of fish. And then we would butcher our chickens when we wanted to have meat. All right, so I'm babysitting. I don't know how to work the stove. Let me keep reading here. But I didn't know how to work the stove. At 7 o'clock we watched, so I don't know what I did instead. I'm sure I fed them something. At 7 o'clock we watched Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Then at 8 we watched Touched by an Angel. Then at 10 we watched Walker, Texas Ranger. What the heck? These kids were little kids, 7 and 9. I don't know. They were young kids. And they were up till 10. I don't think their parents gave them a bedtime. They didn't tell me, hey, put the kids to bed. I would have put them to bed, because I was good at doing what I was told. We watched Walker, Texas Ranger. That sounds like a bad thing to watch with kids at 10 p.m. Okay, well, I'm a mother now. I have a totally different experience. This episode of Walker was neat. I loved Walker, Texas Ranger. And I never got to watch it except for on Sundays. We would go to my grandma's house every week for dinner. And so me and my siblings would just rush downstairs after giving grandma and grandpa a hug and getting a cookie. And we'd rush downstairs, fill our cottage cheese containers with popcorn, our empty ones, because he kept a whole pile of cottage cheese containers stacked. And we'd fill that with popcorn, fight over who got the remote. And then we'd watch Walker, Texas Ranger. Or we'd watch, I don't even know what else we watched. That's one of my main memories. Sometimes MTV music videos or VH1. We pretty much had free reign. It was called The Covenant. It was about a gang. The leader of the gang was really, really, really cute. Oh my gosh. That's really funny. Okay, so I just need to give you okay, let me finish this. It was really, really, really cute. A lot of the Mexican gangsters were really cute. I don't know why, but most all the cute Mexicans are in gangs, like Joe and Miguel. They're so cute, but they're in gangs. Miguel moved to either Texas or California, and he's supposed to be coming back in the spring. I hope he does, because when he does, I'm going to have someone ask him out for me. Yesterday at school, I got to make Joe's midterm for science and got a 35%. I already had someone ask Joe out for me, but he said no. Darn! Every morning at school. Okay, that's hilarious. I didn't know I was gutsy enough to do something like that. Wow. And at the top of my journal here, I have in block letters, Andrea plus Joe equals true love. Andrea plus Miguel equals true love. And I have have it written all in the margins of my page. Okay, so I remember dancing with Miguel at that kind of pre-dance thing. And I was like so mesmerized. I was just like so in love. And then I remember, what was I going to say? I was going to say something. Okay, so in 6th grade, I wanted to be a Mexican. I wanted to dye my hair black, and I wanted to be a Mexican because all the people that I liked were Mexican. And I had friends in 6th grade who, the girls that I hung out with, were going through a lot. And at the time, I started swearing in 6th grade, which was very new for me, and I felt really guilty about that. And then my friends would, like every recess, instead of going out to play, they would go to the bathroom and just cry and like take Tylenol or Advil or like all these different, like couple different pills, and every day. And I was like, why am I friends with these people? Because I wanted to go have fun. I wanted to go play. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to hang out with people and not just like be in the bathroom with girls who were crying. Back then I didn't know anything about like, okay, if this is happening, maybe you should tell an adult. I didn't know anything like that. I just thought, I don't want to hang out with. So that year I just decided like, I'm going to get new friends next year, and I'm going to stop hanging out with these people because they're just bringing me down. And I wanted to dye my hair black, but there was no way I was ever going to do that. Like if I dyed my hair black, like I would literally, like I was afraid of getting kicked out of the house. Like I would be in so much trouble. There was not even there was no way I would even ask to dye my hair black, nor would I try to do it on my own without permission. That was just not ever going to happen. My dad, oh my gosh, I don't even know. So my 6th grade year was not my finest year in terms of like, I went out with this kid for like 24 hours. Somebody asked him out for me, and I didn't even want to go out with him, but my friend was like, hey, why don't you go out with him? He likes you. And I was like, and I don't really want to. And she's like, come on. And I don't know why, but I just agreed to it because maybe I just wanted to get her off my back. Anyway, he and I didn't even talk for like those 24 hours. And in my mind, he was just like, at the time I was thinking like, he's such a nerd. Like I don't even like him. And so I just called it off the next day. Plus I felt so bad that I was doing it behind my parents' back because I wasn't supposed to go out with anybody until I was 16. But I don't know if you're like technically boyfriend and girlfriend at school. So anyway, I just think that's so funny that I asked someone had someone ask for me if Joe would go out with me. He said no, darn. Okay, so every morning at school we watch, going back to the journal here, every morning at school we watch Channel 1 News. A few days ago, my class and I were on KMVT Channel 11, Twin Falls. We were on the news for the whole Magic Valley to see. Oh yeah. When I babysat Alan and Andy, I made $20. So now I have $32 in the oh, okay. Hang on. I'm switching topics here. In the Bop magazines, there are really cute boys in it, like Devin Sawa and JPT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, JTT. And this boy at school, this really ugly bleep, asked me out, but I said no. Okay, so I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, that was a really mean thing to say in my journal. But I guess I was just being really honest to myself. And this other kid asked me out, but I said no. And I have these in all caps and multiple exclamation points. And so-and-so asked me out, and I said no to them too. I want to go out with either Miguel or Joe. When Miguel was here, he said, I'm pretty. There is a really cool song, kind of rap, and it's called Gangsta's Paradise. It's sung by Coolio. And then there is Waterfalls by TLC. Hot, sexy, cool. So now these are my favorite songs. out of Christmas songs and church. So these are my favorite songs outside of Christmas songs and church. Okay, and I remember memorizing all of the words to Gangsta's Paradise, man. I still sing that song. And you know what? From a music production standpoint, it is so clever. The doot 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 doot, just like over and over through the entire song. What an incredible riff that literally makes that song so catchy. And let's not forget Waterfalls. Oh my gosh. Do you know how moving that song is? How sad it is? It's so sad. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. I know that you're gonna have it your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast. What does she say there? Listen to me, don't go chase. You get it. You remember, right? You know this song. Ah, so good. And can we just acknowledge the fact that my dad could not know about these songs, or he would have lectured me to no end. He just would not have allowed it. And so there was this girl in my young women's who, she was so pretty and so cool, and obviously you can tell that was one of the things I really cared about, was how pretty someone is. Anyway, she was amazing, and she taught me about Gangsta's Paradise. Okay, so let me finish this journal entry. I got a new best friend, and her name is Michelle. She's cool and pretty too. 6th grade is the best school year probably of my life. And I know I said that in the beginning, but by the end, I didn't feel that way. So I was like, I need to change things. Okay. In the next episode, my handwriting totally changes, and it's only 2 months later. But the next one is Valentine's Day, 1996, where I go to a dance. I'm going to tell you all about it. I would love to hear from you. In the show notes, there is a link where you can share your thoughts and experiences with the podcast, or if you can relate to something, let me know. If you have any questions for me, things that I'm not covering yet that aren't made clear, I would love to get to that. If you know anybody who you think would enjoy these podcast episodes, send it along. Write an awesome review if you're enjoying it. And if you're not, then there's a gazillion other podcasts. I'm sure you can fill your time with one of those. And you know what? I hope you have an amazing day, because no matter what we go through, we can always make the next day better.